Conservative estimates are that there are approximately 12 million people in our nation who do not have what is called proper documentation. Other estimates are as high as 20 million people. Now, we have a population of 300 million people in this nation, so we're talking about a huge chunk of population of everyone who is in this nation. This is not a nation which has ever, nor ever will, function well so long as there is a permanent underclass. But for us to ensure that we don't have that permanent underclass, one step in the right direction. One step in the right direction as far as immigration reform is support for the DREAM Act. Look, let's face it, a lot of these kids, a lot of these students who will profit from this DREAM Act are as American as I was, are as American as anybody else in this country. Many of these youngsters have spent more time in the United States. They've grown up here than they have in whatever country it is that their parents happen to have been born in. Let's look to avoid something which always gets us into trouble. Look, some of my colleagues in government love to dig their heads in the sand like the ostrich does, supposedly, and love to ignore a problem. And they will do this as long as they can. And when they take their heads out of the sand, they run around like Chicken Little, claiming the sky is falling. Let's do something that we actually can do to make a difference. Let's do something that we actually can do to make America a better place. I'm going to leave on this note. You know, we face a tremendous challenge in our nation and in the Western nations. We are, in effect, at war, a non-traditional war, what some call a non-symmetrical or an asymmetrical war, with an enemy who is dedicated to our destruction. This is an enemy that wants to return to a world as it existed 500 or 600 years ago. This is an enemy which rejects modern life. Now, America needs every one of its assets, and I say this to you as a capitalist and as someone who values his own investments. We have a tremendous investment in every student that's in this country, and we're not in a position to be able to afford to waste our assets, and I think each of you knows that. Most important, let me end on this note. I'm very proud of all of you for doing something that is truly American, and that is standing up for your rights, standing up for our rights. Keep up the great work.
My name is Gina Vario. I'm the president of Interact, and we're here supporting the DREAM Act today. We're at Nassau Community College, and today we had a rally supporting the DREAM Act, which is an act that is going, well, we hope to bring it onto the floor in Washington so that alien minors who have been raised here for their entire lives, who are of good moral character, who get college degrees, can have a path towards citizenship. It's just a basic social right we feel here, and so it's one way to start. If we can just get one group access, maybe we can get all of the groups access.
Today, we had the DREAM Act rally here at Nassau Community College, and the reason for this is because ever since what's been happening for so many years with immigration, it's been a big cause. And now we found out what happened last week in Arizona when they passed that legislation, that will, that cops will now have the right to stop anybody and ask them for their papers. We think it is racial profiling and it is unconstitutional, and that's why the DREAM Act for students and everything, we really want this to be passed. It's time for change. It's time for us to, stop hiding under the shadows and let us be heard for this issue with immigration. It's time.
Correct. And I want to go back to what John Carlos said about the immigration going on in Phoenix right now. It's still not. We have 90 days for this to be changed. We have 90 days to convince the government that it is unconstitutional, that it should not be passed. For everyone in Arizona, want to let you guys know, don't be scared. This is still going on today. By around August, it's when they decide the final decision. So we have to stick together. Also for the DREAM Act, every student that's out there that wants to do something, you know, in the future, become someone, we have the right. We have the right because this is America, and as a student, we need to fight. We need to stick together.